Hey everybody. I have had this video on my heart for a minute. I was trying to wait until I had time to put on my eyebrows and my eyelashes and do something real cute to my hair. But guess what? Tonight I was on a live by someone who is very dear to me. Shout out to you, Danny. And it just put a fire under me for me to go ahead and record this video that I've been sitting on for like 2 weeks. And what inspired this video was that there's someone that when I tell you I adore this woman, I realized that some things had shifted as far as our interactions and our relationships. And I just felt like I needed to reach out and, apologize for some things that I didn't realize were going on when we were very close knit in our relationship. And so it just inspired me to really sit back and think, but then also to say, hey, if this is something that's affecting me, I'm pretty sure it's affecting somebody else out there. So the topic of this video is the heavy friend. Now, before you start trying to go in on me, I'm not talking about our, stallion friends, our thick friends, our, thick thighs save lives friends. I'm talking about being the heavy friend emotionally, the heavy friend mentally, that friend that always needs something. And most of the time, if you feel like, oh, well, who is that friend? Sometimes it might be you. And in my particular instance, it was me, and I didn't even know it. I didn't know it partly because, and this is not like a bad thing, but partly I didn't know it because that friend made me feel so loved, so accepted, that what I did not realize I was doing was being a burden. She never told me I was a burden. She never made me feel like I was a burden. But it turns out that's exactly what it was. I thought that I was being loving and helpful and present, but found out later that there were other things at play that overshadowed that. Sometimes we can be doing our best, but there are other things that we do where it shines just a little bit brighter than the good that we're doing. What I realized again later was that I was still struggling with needing affirmation and support in areas that I thought I had healed in. Sometimes we ignore things and we think that we're healed, when really all we've done is found a different coping mechanism. So I realize now that I still needed that affirmation from her. So as much as I said, oh, I don't need, people's acceptance, it was partly true. I didn't need everybody's acceptance. I just needed the affirmation and acceptance of certain people. Still not healthy, but I was justifying it because I said I didn't care what other people thought. But if I am still not able to function appropriately because I'm still needing the affirmation and acceptance of even certain people, that was an issue. This caused me to unknowingly feel heavy to those that were trying to love me. They were trying to love me, but I felt heavy. And what it also caused me to do was to not realize when they were going through things and when they needed me to be the one that carried them. They were tired because they were always carrying me. And it wasn't that I did it on purpose, but it doesn't matter. There's such a thing as intent versus impact. My intent was good. I didn't intend to hurt anyone. I didn't intend to feel heavy, but my impact was that I was that heavy friend. I showed up in the best way I knew how, but I fell short. And I'm going to get real with y'all right now. My lack of confidence caused me to shut down in certain areas. And it's so weird to some people because they think, oh, well, you have these degrees and, all of these great and wonderful things that they notice about me. But y'all, I had little to no self-confidence. And I'm not going to go into, oh, it's because of what happened to me when I was younger. Even though those things are real, my reality in that moment was I lacked the self-confidence to be in the room with the people that I was privileged to be in the room with. But instead of trusting them enough, because they loved me and they were there to support me, but rather than trusting them enough to say to them, hey guys, here's what I'm struggling with, it manifested itself in me shutting down. That shutting down was an emotional place for me, but what it translated as was me having an attitude, or me not being interested, or me not being wanting to be there, when really what it was on the inside. I was like, man, that person's so smart, that person's so successful, that person's so beautiful. And I had fallen into the comparison trap, all the way into the comparison trap, and it caused me to backpedal all the way out of situations that were good for me, that were healthy for me, with women who were there to lift me up. But I couldn't accept it because of what was going on inside of me. Because I was the queen of wearing the mask, y'all. That mask was glued to my face. When I tell you, I could walk around, put my stilettos on, have my, my hair done, all of that, and be looking real, real cute. And y'all, I was torn up on the inside. No confidence. Nope. Just wasn't. I think most of y'all probably have heard about the imposter syndrome. I was the poster child for the imposter syndrome, and that showed up in my friendships. Again, I didn't know it, but now reflecting back, that's exactly what it was. Y'all know how there's that dream where you're trying to wake up, but you can't, and how you're kind of tussling in your dream to try to wake up. You're trying to breathe, and just everything is a struggle. So that was me, but with the attitude and with the shutting down. So on the inside, it was like, okay, Masadi, stop. Okay, Masadi, smile, like nobody's done anything to you, like what's going on? And so it was like I was stuck in my own body, and I wanted to portray something different, but I literally could not. And that is what lack of confidence, what imposter syndrome, what feelings of abandonment and rejection will do to you. So because of that residue of abandonment, rejection, and abuse, I was hungry for the love, affection, and acceptance of certain friendships. But again, I did not know how to, one, identify that that's what was going on with me. Two, to be open and transparent and honest with those friends who were trying to be there for me. And three, how to fix it. I didn't know how to fix it. So in hindsight, I longed so much to fill a place of void that I didn't realize I was sucking them dry. I was so dry, and I was pulling and pulling and pulling, and did not realize that I was sucking them dry. It was that I needed what they were offering me, and I thought that I was giving something back. And I'm not saying that I wasn't, because they obviously would have never, been around me and all of that for so long. So it wasn't that I wasn't giving anything, but it was not in the way they needed, only in the way that I could at the time. So it makes me reflect on the difference between the golden rule and the platinum rule. So we all say we should abide by the golden rule, right? So golden rule says that you treat people the way you want to be treated. And I cannot subscribe to that. I say that I prefer the platinum rule, which is you treat people the way they want to be treated. The reason I subscribe to the platinum rule versus the golden rule is if I'm in a place where I don't love myself, if I'm in a place where I won't take care of myself, why would I want to treat somebody else the way that I want to be treated? If I don't even know how to treat myself, how am I going to treat somebody else that way? So I would rather treat somebody else the way they want to be treated, not necessarily the way that I want to be treated. So I thought that I was being a 2 in the friendship when really I was being a 3. So let me kind of explain what that means. So it may have come from somewhere else, I don't know, but I learned about the concept of 1s, 2s, and 3s in friendships from my pastor, Bishop Shelton Beatty. And what he explained to us was that there are 1s. So these are the people that you look up to. These are the people who mentor you, who you go to for guidance. Then there are 2s. So these are your peers, your on-level friendships. These are the people that you hang out with, that you kick it with, right? And then you have your 3s. So these are people that you mentor, that you pull along. Okay. So I thought I was being a two in this friendship where it's like we're on level. I do some things for you, you do some things for me. I'm there for you, you there for me. We vibing, right? When really in a lot of situations in this friendship, I was being a three. It was like she was pulling me along, and again, I didn't even realize it. I did not realize it, which is so crazy considering that I see myself as this self enlightened, self reflective person. Okay. So while it makes my heart sad that some relationships are forever changed because of me being the heavy friend, the blessing in it is that I now have the capacity. So I've gone through a lot of healing and release. And when I tell y'all I'm in a place that I have never been in my life, you know, some people are like, you know, I'm back to peace or I'm back to, no, I'm in a place of freedom and peace and just revival that I've never been in my life. And so because of that, I now have the capacity to carry others where I didn't before. And I'm doing it so joyfully. And I'm also able to do it because I have a friend that showed me what being a good girlfriend looks like. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So I want you to consider, are you the heavy friend? Are you the one that is pulling and drawing and kind of sucking your friends dry? And I don't say any of this to make anybody feel bad. I actually say it because I want you to be well. I say it because I want your friendships to be well. I say it because I want your family relationships to be well. So let's get past the abandonment, the rejection, the low self-esteem, the lack of confidence, because those things will cause us to be the heavy friend. And just know, you don't have to go through it alone. If you need to, you know, reach out to me or someone else that you know that can be there for you, we're here because we want you to be light. We want you to be well. And we want you to be amazing. So before I wrap up this video, I want to say, Dr. Gina Jerkins, I love you and thank you for carrying me when I was not able to carry you.